Welcome back to the Lehigh Valley Arts Podcast, where we will explore the local arts, culture, and community in the Lehigh Valley. We'll be doing this through conversations with individual artists, administrators, and organizations. We'll discuss all types of mediums with the goal of enriching local arts culture. Welcome back to Lehigh Valley Arts Podcast. I'm Elisabeth, and today I'm joined by former podcast guest and today's co-host, Ikechukwu Okorji.
Hey, yeah. How's everybody doing? Thank you for having me here. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to ask questions. I'm excited to be a part of a good conversation tonight.
Yeah, well, we're very excited to have you back on as well as a host this time instead of a guest.
Yes.
So I know that you have recently been releasing music. So what have you been working on? What have you released, and how can people see it? You know?
Oh, perfect. Thank you. So I have been releasing new music. Recently I've released 2 new singles. The first one I released was it's called "I Fell for You," and the second one I released is called "Hold You." So these are songs I've kind of written a very long time ago that I've been just itching to get out into the sonic digital world.
Yes.
And you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, basically anywhere where you can listen to music.
Yeah.
And hopefully people kind of digging the emotion behind all the songs.
All the feels.
There's
lots of feels for this.
I'm a feels man.
Yeah.
I'm a feelings man.
Oh, that's so funny. That was good. Have you been working on any new music writing recently?
Absolutely. I've been writing a lot of so the songs that you're gonna hear that I'm releasing now are things that I've written a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I was in a very different headspace as a songwriter a couple years ago. How I said earlier that I'm a feels man. This new stuff that I'm writing, the feels man is still there, but now it's with just a little sprinkle of catchiness, a little sprinkle of up-tempo, something to kind of get you grooving a little bit while still maintaining that integrity.
The emotion
that I have as like my very being in terms of, you know, my emotion, my songwriting style. So all that stuff is still there. But I'm excited to release that stuff, you know, in the future. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think people are going to be really like, ooh, this is a new side of Ikechukwu. It's like, it's a new side.
Very
So I'm excited to show people that new side when that time comes.
That's so cool. Have you had any new inspirations lately or gone to any shows or anything that have inspired you?
Yeah, I've been listening to, there's this French artist. I believe his name is Teki. He usually starts off his songs Ikechukwu, and I've been listening to a lot of his music. And I think he's one of the main reasons why I've kind of drifted into this like new way of writing songs where I can still have that emotion, but make it super catchy that you say, whoa, wait a minute, this is just not all about my feels. This is like I'm like kind of vibing and my feels at the same time. So I've been like practicing and trying to find a way to kind of blend those two worlds together, where it's catchy but it maintains that it still has that depth of like a like hits you in the chest, you know. So that's what I've been kind of working on. So that's very cool. That's been the biggest inspiration as of recently.
Very cool. And you're still using your guitar in those as well, correct?
Using my guitar. And, you know, my head, I hear a little bit of piano here and there, but, you know, when production comes, that's when I'll kind of focus on other instruments that I do want to hear on there.
Yeah.
But originally, it's just with my guitar. And obviously, we can easily swap those for pianos or other instruments when production time comes. But initially it's just my voice and my guitar.
Very cool. Oh, I'm so excited to listen to everything new coming out. I have to listen to your most recent one. I listened to the second most recent one.
Mm-hmm. I Fell For You.
I Fell For You.
I Fell For You.
Also love the color. The cover. Color.
It's like moody.
Yes.
It's sensual.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, you know.
It's like very, yes.
Very, you see the cover, you see rustled bed sheets. Like, what is that? What does that
mean?
And you see kind of a golden hour shining.
Yeah.
To your own interpretation of whatever you want it to mean.
That's why I like it. You look at it, you're like, ooh, that can mean so many things. And we're going to dive into that, but it's fine. You got to listen to the song. So funny. Listen to the song and you get your own interpretation of it, which is really neat. You get interpretation when you look at it, which is why covers are amazing. And then you dive into the song and then you're like, oh, that's what it means.
This is what it means. Yeah. Exactly.
Very cool. But excited. So yes, definitely everyone go out and listen to those. They are wonderful. So this week we are joined by local musician Stefanie Johnson. Ike, would you like to read her bio?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter Stefanie Johnson hails from the Lehigh Valley region of Pennsylvania. To describe her voice, Stefanie has a bold, melodic presence, both strong and smooth. Her style ranges from soaring artist to rock singer, with a slight country timbre as well. Stefanie's professional music experience is varied and significant, performing at Musikfest and many Lehigh Valley venues. She has also appeared on local television stations such as WLVT's Steel Sessions, WFMZ's Music Mondays, and Service Electric's Holiday Concert Series, as well as the Mike Zambelli Show. In 2015, Stefanie began recording her album with co-writer and producer Brian J. Anthony, who immediately embraced her vision. Brian helped create a sonic landscape by mixing bits of rock, pop, and country, while not losing the intensity of her voice or deep personal reflection in her lyrics. The result of these tracks gained the attention of some of the area's best-known musicians, who all jumped at the opportunity to be a part of this project. She released her self-titled debut album, Stefanie, through England's Escape music label in February of 2017. Stefanie has also made her mark in the music licensing business. Her song In My Shoes has been featured in the 2018 film Affairs of State. In addition, her song One Life will be featured in the upcoming film Red Rocket to be released December 2021. Most recently, her song Everything You Need will be featured in Daniel's Roebuck's Hail Mary, which is currently in post-production.
Thanks, Stefanie, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Yeah, of course. So you are a local artist, musician here in the Lehigh Valley, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
And what area do you, I would say, like, play the most, would you say?
So we typically stay around the Lehigh Valley. We play more so in Bethlehem, I think, than any other area, but we're also in Allentown, and we do occasionally play out in Easton, and sometimes, depending on the venue or if it's like a festival type of event, we'll play even, further than that.
Very cool. So what does your process look like when it comes to writing music or performing?
So writing kind of happens very organically. It used to be like with my first album that I released, a lot of it was just inspired by, a personal struggle I was having, with a relationship, and music is therapy, as any artist and even music lover knows. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
it's medicine, right? It's the best way I feel like to get out whatever you need to say. So a lot of my first album was inspired by heartache, but recently I've tried to write more outside myself, and I feel like every song I write, there's always an element of truth within it, but then sometimes I'll kind of build a story, outside myself. So I might be talking about something that didn't specifically happen to me, but maybe an emotion that I felt at one point in time, I just kind of exaggerated into this full-blown story, like just kind of making it bigger and embellishing on it a little bit. So yeah, that's really beautiful. I think I heard you say something about you're trying to write outside of yourself, right? And as an artist and as a musician, when you have that mindset on stage, is that your first instinct in terms of delivering that to the audience? What do you look for in the audience when you're kind of telling that story that you've written? Yeah, so I definitely try to connect with the audience, and regardless of what song it is, even, if it's not my own song, because, in the full band we do covers as well, but I try to, when I'm performing, to deliver, a show. At that time, like, I'm not me, and I tried to completely sink myself almost into the character of whatever story or whatever song I'm singing. So if I'm singing an angry Sheryl Crow song, which I do, I mean, I really look like I am super pissed off when I'm performing, and there's times where I'll throw my hat on the ground, and I mean, I'm not really, but it's all kind of part of the show, and I think that that's what makes a performance, so interesting. It's not just somebody up there who's singing their songs and telling their stories, but also feeling it and just, definitely living and breathing it and embracing everything that kind of comes to them. So I want people to feel like, wow, like, geez, she's really mad, even though I'm not. But just to kind of be there with me too and connect and feel like, wow, yeah, I've been there before.
Oh, absolutely. That's true artistry, being able to have people feel that emotion with you, for sure, because that's what it's about.
Right.
For musicians,
creating that story and that space. And when you're on stage and that spotlight is on you, somebody who's not even there to see you can look at you and say, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good. And then they feel the emotion that you're feeling, and they say, yo, she means that, Joan. Like, she's singing that, Joan, from the chest. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's, I don't know, that's dope. That's dope that you create that for the audience.
Right, exactly. I mean, and as music listeners, and, we all love music here. It's like when you're watching your favorite artist perform, you look and you see more than them just singing the song. All of that performance, that stage presence, that connection. That all goes into it. And for me, that's just as important as hitting the right notes.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless, there's times where I'll maybe crack because I'm belting. But I feel like if the emotion is like strong enough that it makes me crack on my note, then I'm okay with that. Because that's like stylistic in a way. But yeah, I mean, it's I just try to really put on a show. Even if we're playing a smaller venue as an acoustic duo, I mean, obviously we're not going to have the full band behind us. I mean, that just brings a lot of energy when you have the drums right behind you and all of the other elements. But, even just as an acoustic duo, I try to make every song count, because you don't know what song people are going to connect with. So you don't know if it's going to be the more upbeat one or, the slower one. So every song is a different story, and I just try to tell that the best I can through the way I sing it and my interpretation.
The really neat part about your work is that it's so different in genre base that you go from pop to rock to country. You kind of have this whole vibe and style for yourself, which is that you've created, which also is really unique to yourself.
Thank you.
And your work. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm really not sure exactly what category I fit in. I always am like, what am I? I don't know. I mean, another part of that is I love all different kinds of music. So I'm not signed with a record label. I don't have to stay in one lane in one box. I can, if I want to sing a country song and record it, I'm going to do it. If I want to do something more alternative or rock, I can do that. I mean, I have total control over, my sound and my style. So it's so much fun. Like, I love being in the studio and different styles of songs bring out different elements within my voice too, like especially the rockier stuff. I can do a little bit more raspy type of tones, and then the country, a little bit more of my twang comes out, and it's just fun. It's really fun to try different things and kind of explore where my voice takes me.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm really interested in terms of your writing, because you're talking about artistic process, right? And as a songwriter, even when you're kind of penning down stuff, how do you know that you've got something that is worth taking into the studio?
I don't traditionally, go and sit down with like a pen and paper and like write. I've never, I guess when I was younger and when I started out, I did that. Most of the time I'll just be driving in my car or I'm walking around the house and like I hear something in my head. And then I take my phone and I record, and it could just be like a hook. And I don't even have words to it. It's just a melody. And then I'm like, all right, well, where's this going to go? Or sometimes I don't know, out of nowhere I'll have these words and a melody in my head, and I'll record that. I mean, I must have hundreds of little bits of things in my phone. And I'll go back and listen to them. I'm like, wow, that was really bad. Like, that's getting deleted. And then other ones I'm like, okay, you know what? I could hear something from this. And actually, like, just this past Halloween, I love watching like murder mystery type of shows, like the ID channel and all of that. And there's, me too.
My jam.
I know. It's just so entertaining to me. So there's, different theme songs that play throughout these, or, as you're watching the episode, there'll be a song in it. And I kind of wanted to write a song to try to pitch to one of these shows. And I'm like, I think it'd be really cool if I wrote a song that was almost coming from the person who died, like someone tell my story, like somebody figure out what happened to me, like almost like this person is trying to speak from the grave in getting their case solved. So I'm all these thoughts are going through my head, and it's close to being Halloween, and just because I've been writing more outside myself. I mean, obviously that's completely outside myself because, I'm not dead. In case you didn't know. But and then I was just driving, and all of a sudden I was just like, monsters don't only come out in the dark of night. And then I'm like, oh, I kind of like that. And then I did like down, 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 because it was this very like folky type of like feel, almost like I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of like that witchcraft, like folky kind of style. And I think I wrote that song maybe 10 minutes. And I took it to Brian, who is my co-writer / producer / engineer. We do all of our stuff together, and he's in Catasauqua. Brian Anthony is his name. And I was like, hey, this is an idea I have, and what do you think? And, he liked it. I mean, if you were to say to me, like, then I probably wouldn't have recorded it. But so I take his opinion as well when I write things. But most of the time I just try to find like a catchy hook, like something that somebody will get stuck in their head. Like that after they're done playing the song, it's still going to be swirling in their mind. And if I listen to one of my songs and it's not stuck in my head afterwards, then I don't think it's worthy of being built upon.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's a cool way to look at that.
I like that a lot because you're the artist. You're the one that is writing that song. And if you don't really feel connected to that song, how can you perform that song live?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, performance is a performance, but if you don't, it's harder to perform something that you're not truly feeling or can't feel. Yeah. So that's dope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's mad dope.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Like, I need to believe what I'm saying. And if I don't, then it's not worth building upon. So, yeah.
And people can tell.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. It's like, yo, dang, people are perceptive.
I know.
Right? It's like, yo, it's like, she sounds good, but she's not feeling it. Or he sounds good, he's not feeling it. So that's dope that you can.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You had mentioned Monster, which is one of your originals. Watching your music video, how did you decide what you were going to do style-wise in the music video itself, like cinematically?
Yeah. So that was pretty creepy video. Yeah, I'm so glad I released that song around Halloween because it really wasn't supposed to be like a Halloween like song because like I said, murder shows are on all the time. So but thank God it was because I think it freaked out a lot of people. Because as you saw, I was lying in a casket and for me, I just thought, oh, this would be so cool. Like, how can I make this? I had a small budget for the video and I'm like, what can I do to kind of make this a really good way to tell the story without, obviously we can't use special effects. I would have loved ideally to be in the casket with like 6 feet of dirt around me, like all the way in the ground. That would have been fun, but nobody was digging, so that would have been too much. But and actually I ended up being able to borrow a casket from a funeral home. They were super nice and they let me do that, but I knew I wanted to be in a casket and I knew I wanted Brian, the guy that worked on the song with me and all my songs with me, I knew I wanted him to be in the video and I wanted him to be the one that murdered me. So originally the idea was, okay, maybe there's some shots of him like looking at me while I'm alive and like, stalking me. And then like, I don't know, I just loved the first day that we shot so much that I kind of felt like we didn't need all of that extra stuff. I mean, we did all those graveyard scenes, all the casket scenes, in one day, and I think it was kind of cool to have it be more about like the spirit, or then I kind of didn't want to be shown alive. I kind of just wanted it to be the spirit, and then maybe at the very end show Brian staring at my grave, and then a creepy dead hand coming up upon him as a final scare. So yeah. And it's crazy too because there's a scene where like it looks like my hand's coming out of the ground, which ended up being a really cool shot. But it was literally like we just dug a little hole and I was laying on the ground and I just like literally popped my hand up through it. But it's just amazing what you can do depending on camera angles and how close you are. So it turned out really well. Rory shot that for us and it was great.
It looked great. You looked great.
It was fun. It was really fun. I mean, I thought he did an awesome job with everything, considering that, I had to ask him if he wanted to do a video of me in a casket. Yeah. I think he thought I was crazy, but I'm glad we did it. It was really fun.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you stuck with your artistic view of it, because if you don't, it's not a true representation of what you want it to be. Whether it's Halloween or not, which it does help that it was. But it does. It shows your true style and what you really want it to be and portray. So it's really cool. I'm glad you stuck with your roots on that one for sure.
Me too.
Yeah.
Plus I was like, well, if we're shooting me alive, I have to go upstairs and make myself look undead, and that's it's a lot of effort now. I mean, we got like it was like the gloomiest day, so that really helped when we were shooting the first day. But ultimately I just didn't feel like we needed anything else.
No, it worked out really well. How many songs or albums have you written?
I have one album. And then I just kind of started releasing songs as I recorded them because in today's world, a lot of people don't buy CDs. And I was just kind of like, why am I spending the money to make all these CDs? I mean, it's nice to have it at shows because there are people that still love, I still love the actual, physical CD.
Something
I remember
tangible.
When I was younger, I would go to oh my gosh, what was it? The Wall? Is that what it used to be called? It's now like FYE or something.
Yes.
But I would go and I'd get a CD and I'd go home and I'd lay on my bed and I'd open it up and I'd play it. And like, I would love if the words were in there and then I'd follow along with every word. And I love seeing the artwork. I love the fact of having the physical CD. But, you know, in today's world, it just doesn't really make sense for me to have CDs made like that anymore.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of releasing singles as they're done, just kind of for fun. Throwing them out there on Spotify and iTunes and YouTube. So
yeah, I get that. In terms of like today's world not being a very CD heavy, full length discography all at once.
Yeah, we're in a digital world.
Yeah.
We are in a digital world. That's true. Yeah. It's sad when nobody has any of those things. Like, I just want a vinyl or a CD or something.
Awesome.
I love vinyls because they give that. You can have the whole entire. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of the cover? And look at it and really feel what they wanted from that too. Like, you know, your choice and artistic choices in that too.
Yeah,
so absolutely. It's like really cool to look at it while you're listening to get that feeling from it too. But people don't have them anymore.
And it's a whole vintage feel.
It is a vintage feel.
Vintage feeling, having a vinyl.
I love vinyls.
Actually, I was at a concert at the Arts Quest building. I saw Delta Ray.
Oh, yeah.
And they were selling vinyls and CDs too.
Oh, cool.
And the openers had CDs. And I was like, I just love this. Like, I just love seeing this.
You can't get a link signed either.
Exactly. I know.
You can't get a link signed. Like, you can't physically get someone to sign it for you. You know, that's worth something too, to have that artist like have that contact with your piece. I'm like, oh, they signed that for me.
And this one opening act, she was so great, and she was introducing her one song, and she's like, "Oh, this is my new song called Monster," and I was like, "I have a new song called Monster." And then after the show, I was talking to her about it, and then she signed my the CD I bought from her, and it was like, "To my fellow monster," and it was just so cute. Yeah, it was awesome.
Personal.
It was awesome, and now we connected. Now she's from Nashville, and she's just on tour, and love Nashville.
I think live music, not even live music in general, but in just terms of entertainment, I think entertainment in general kind of brings people together.
Yeah.
Especially in this not generation per se, but culture of, okay, in the morning I go to work, in the evening I kind of chillax, or not chillax, but I'm trying to de-stress, or I'm trying to decompose, or like, my brain after like a hard day of labor. And I think entertainment, right? Because we watch TV, we watch Netflix, we listen to music on the ride home, we listen to the news. But in terms of live entertainment and kind of witnessing somebody share their talents, or sing, act. So I think in terms of a community, that's like it brings like a huge community together. Like we're all in the same space here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space. Like the three of us now are here in this space to just talk about really good music and really good stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't know. That's how so it's dope. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I wish there were more, like, what's the word? Collaborations. That's the word I'm thinking of. Different local artists kind of sharing their style and their music with others. And even if there was just one big show that kind of had multiple artists collaborating almost together, like a variety type of thing. I think that would be so cool.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
We should work on that.
Yeah, we should.
Get a good start on that, head start.
Speaking of, I just want to touch on your performance. I've seen a couple of videos of you performing live, and I love your energy on stage. You were talking earlier about throwing your hat down on the floor. Yeah, Sheryl Crow.
Gets into it.
Carrie Underwood, right? Slash my keys into his tires, right? So I was watching a couple of videos earlier in terms of that your live performance, and as a person who loves watching live music, I feel the energy you were talking about earlier. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that and say that's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have been in a lot of different venues, and you've been on a couple. Your music is in a movie recently, and you've been building a lot more recently and in the past, and it's been really cool to see that progress. What inspired you to get into music?
I think when I was in second grade is when I started writing songs.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
That's probably when I started doing it.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I actually remember writing it on construction paper. One time I couldn't find anything, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I mean, it's like I had my first solo when I was in kindergarten. It was the I Can't Tie My Shoes blues. And yeah, it's quite a jazzy number. And then, I started writing when I was in second grade, and I would always go over to my grandparents' house, and they had like a little tape recorder that had like a tiny little microphone attached to it, and I would always sing my songs into that. And I was in second grade, so I didn't know that they shouldn't not be 20-minute songs, but I would just sing and sing and sing and sing and sing and sing. But yeah, I mean, I just thought it was fun to keep going.
Yeah, I don't have to say.
Time for dinner. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, finish that one later. But yeah, I don't know. I always had a passion for singing in general, and then when I started writing, I don't know. I think I just did it for fun, and I never really took it seriously at that age. When I got older, I was in a show choir in my middle school called Kaleidoscope. It was, singing and dancing, and we wore the little bow ties, and we got to go to, perform in different competitions. Like one was in Disney World, and one we sang the national anthem, I think, at a Blue Jays game. So we got to do a lot of fun stuff, which kind of helped me break out of my comfort zone. But then for a long time after that, like through high school and beyond, I actually completely moved away from music, and I stopped singing for many, many years. And it wasn't until I kind of lost myself that I realized, what was missing. And I was going through a really hard time, and I was kind of feeling like I didn't have any confidence in my ability, and I had wanted to try to maybe take voice lessons or wanted to do something to maybe get back into music. And, I was hearing a lot of negative things at that time, like I wasn't good enough, and that I shouldn't try. And, I was a mother. I had a new baby at the time, and, that was supposed to be my entire life, my entire world. And she's 13 now. Oh my gosh. But I just, I wanted to just have something for myself, like just to sing or write, not even perform. I just wanted to be doing something. So it was then that I got a guitar, and I just started writing some things and learning some basic chords and building up my confidence. And I got out of a bad situation, and I kind of started fresh, and I went to an open mic night. I was actually at the Pig Pen, and do you remember what that was, like on Union Boulevard in Bethlehem?
Yeah.
It used to be a bowling alley, and then it was like the Pig Pen. So it was a long time ago. Yeah. And I remember I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to throw up. Like I was so afraid. But that challenged me, and I kind of liked it. I'm like, all right, let's set some goals. let's do it again. And maybe this time, let's not shake as much.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Maybe this time, like, don't feel like you're going to throw up. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until I wasn't scared anymore.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to have an album. I wanted to make an album of all of my songs and have it a fully produced album. And I just want to do this because when I'm 80 years old and I look back on my life, I want to say that I did this, you know, like, hey, I accomplished something I set out to do. Yeah. And I think in doing that, I realized that, you know, maybe there's something more to this. Like maybe this could be something that I do regularly. Like maybe people will like to hear my music, and maybe I should start performing out. And after the first song was done with Brian, which was a song called Word Man, that's kind of when I started to gain some of my confidence back and realize, like, okay, you know, I'm starting to believe in myself, and I feel like this is a path I really need to follow and I really need to pursue because I love doing it. I love it so much. And I really like the way the song turned out. And I was like, okay, well, this sounds pretty okay to me. I'm like, all right, let's keep doing this. Yeah. And then from that point forward, I would just write little goals for myself. And I have just I still do it. There's still venues where if I have a hard time getting into, they go on the list, and then I work really hard to figure out what I need to do to make that happen. Or you know, one of my goals is to be an opening act for a national, you know, touring act, and that's on the goal list. And one of my goals was to have my song featured in a movie, and that checked off as well. So it's pretty exciting, you know. When you have the drive and the motivation and the determination to do whatever it takes to make things happen, and then to see, you know, obviously I haven't hit all of my goals, but it's a good feeling to work hard towards something and then see it pay off. And honestly, in the journey of working hard, it's only made me better. It's only made me a better singer, a better songwriter, because in doing something over and over and over again, you just get better. You just do it with anything. Practice is everything. So yeah, that's kind of my story. Very cool. my musical story, and yeah.
I appreciate that. That's how I know, because I don't know about you, but I think it takes a lot of courage to kind of come on a podcast, right? And be super vulnerable like you just were in terms of telling that story. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing that, because that was nice that was like a nice way to kind of be even more in touch with your music.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
So for example, when I go back and listen to your music now, I know a little bit more about who you are as a person, and that kind of journey that you had from stopping music, and then what it took for you to get back into music, and then discovering even more that, this is what I'm meant to do, which, to be honest, is going to make your music sound even sweeter than it already is. So I think that's dope that you just shared that with people who are going to be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
So that's dope. Thank you for sharing
that. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, if there's somebody who's listening to this and they want to pursue, you know, their dream, and they're feeling like they're not good enough or not capable, or they're hearing negative things, and, you know, just go for it. Just follow it. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're not worth what you want. So, and it doesn't matter at what age either, because I started doing this kind of late in the game. I mean, I'm in my 30s now, and you don't have to be like a young teenager to start, like, I don't know, like if you look at the music business, and sure, there's a lot of younger girls and guys too, but it doesn't matter. If you're talented, you know, you're talented.
Absolutely.
And you should share that gift with the world.
Definitely.
And not only that, but you said, when I'm 80, right? when I'm 80, I'm gonna look back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, that's that feeling that you described.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what a sucky feeling that is, to be honest, to look back when you're at a certain age and say, dang, what if I tried to do something?
Mm-hmm.
What
Right.
if I tried?
Mm-hmm.
So when you said that, I was like, that's absolutely 100% like fact. That's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're 80, you don't want to look back and say, man, like, what if because you were super into it. You out here telling us that you were writing in second grade, kindergarten?
Yeah.
Second grade.
Singing since
And you were
kindergarten.
singing all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people were calling you for dinner, but you still wanted to sing, right? And you gave that up. You know what I mean? So like that's, I don't know. That's just open to hear the way that you found your way back
Mm-hmm.
to the music, because as a child, that is, from the sound of it, that's what you kind of tuned in with the most.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of come back into that inner child and kind of like, and as adult and say, whoa, this is, I remember doing this as a child and loving it, and I'm doing it even more and even better than I was before.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's really dope to hear.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think, even more so, it was like music found me. Like, I feel like music in a way saved me. I have like a little bit of a song started called Sweet Melody, and it's like, sweet melody, you rescued me when I wasn't sure who I was supposed to be. Like, sweet melody, you fulfilled me when for so long I was feeling so empty. Like, how almost music, kind of made me whole again. And I found myself from, my whole journey of getting back into it. So yeah, it's amazing. Like, music is definitely medicine. I'll say it all the time. And it's not a selfish, act. It reaches so many people. Yes. And you might be telling your story, but your story might be somebody else's story, and you have no idea how much of an impact it can make. So yeah, it's healing not only to the writer, but to the people that are going through the same types of things.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. I look forward to hearing that song
Yeah.
when it comes out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I need to write more of it.
Well, now you announced
so
it. People
funny.
didn't expect
It's like,
it.
yo,
So.
that's crazy. When is that coming out,
I
yo? When's that coming out? When's that coming out?
Yeah, I'll have to work on that one next.
Yeah.
There's so many unfinished songs in the vault, but
Yeah.
I think I just need one day where I just go to the studio from like morning till night, and we can see how much we get done.
Yeah. Just start playing it.
Yeah,
And see what comes to you.
I know.
Yep.
It's funny because Brian and I have been working together for a long time now. I guess 10 years, which is crazy. And we're kind of like a well-oiled machine. Like, we're just so much on the same like wavelength. We can almost finish each other's like musical sentences.
Yeah.
Like, I can, well, okay, I think the drum should kick in like at this part. And it's like, oh, and he's like, oh, no, I got it. Like, I don't even have to say it. We just, when you work with someone for so long, it's kind of like, you just get where you're going with things. But yeah, it's always fun to try something new and completely different. I mean, this Monster song was so different from anything we've ever done. It was like this dark pop type of tune, and yeah, it's just kind of like a curveball, but it was fun. It's fun.
With your story in mind, keeping what you said, that you kind of drifted apart from it and then came back to it, a little bit later. Did you have any formal formal training? I guess you want to call it formal training or whatever you want to call it, or did you do it more on your own?
Yeah, so most of it, I mean, I was in my church choir, and I was in that show choir I had mentioned. I had taken music lessons for a short time as an adult, and guitar lessons. And that just didn't really coincide with my schedule. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would say no formal training, just from choirs and show choirs. And I watch a lot of videos, and really just, I mean, if someone videos me, or if there's a video of me performing live, it's so helpful to watch that back too, because there's times when I'm like, ooh, I was slightly under that note. I'm like, ooh, maybe if I change the way I'm hitting it, it'll give it a better sound. You can learn so much. It's just like people who play sports and
practice,
and they're they're videoed so you can see what you're doing wrong, or oh, look, sometimes if you're not aware of it, you don't know that it's a problem, and you don't know like how to fix it. So yeah, definitely just a lot of practice. I mean, we perform out, I think we've done close to 100 shows in 2021. So that's a lot of shows. That's a lot. That is a lot of shows. I mean, this summer was absolutely insane. We had 4 shows at Musikfest, and then I mean, the rest was just filled with like festivals and just there's a lot of opportunity to play outside, of course, because the weather's nice. So we were super busy, and I'm grateful for it. I am, because it really does make you figure out, how to get through a 3-hour set without losing your voice.
Yeah.
So it kind of teaches you, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I shouldn't do that, or how to approach some of the notes differently, because I really like to belt. I can't do that in every song. And when I was first playing out, that's what I wanted to do. And then I was like, yeah, this isn't really like realistic. I mean, nobody belts in every single song. So, dynamics kind of came into play. I'm like, all right, what if I do like a falsetto here? And, you just kind of tweak, and from doing it so much, you just kind of figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. Just the experience of it.
Yeah.
From experience.
For sure.
That's a lot to look back on, too, though, if you have all of those, we'd say 100 shows. Is that what you said? That's a lot of shows.
It is a lot of shows.
That's awesome, though. I mean, that's good for you. That's a lot. I don't know how your voice wouldn't just be gone to begin with. But,
Yeah, that's why it's really important to learn how to sing correctly. Yeah. Which I'm still learning. I'm definitely not perfect by any means. Like, I don't have a perfect approach, and I would love to eventually go see like a voice coach that can help me, figure out the things that I'm doing wrong, so that I don't get like nodules or any of that kind of thing.
And you said before, when we first started, Bethlehem is more the area that you kind of dive into. So how do you think the Lehigh Valley as a whole has affected your music career?
I've had a lot of success with booking different places within the Lehigh Valley, so I really am thankful for those opportunities. It's hard when you're first starting out and starting to book shows, and nobody knows who you are, and you're just an email, or you're just a random person calling. So I think so much of being successful in booking shows and being given a chance is also connecting with other artists, bands, musicians within the Lehigh Valley, because some great people, that are willing to kind of help you out when you're first getting started. And I did a lot of work. I did a lot of research when I first started booking shows. I mean, and I was diligent. I used to work in collections at my previous job. I would note, all right, send email this date, follow up in a week, send email, follow up in a week, follow up in a week. I mean, sometimes it's easier to just go into the place and hand out your cards. And sometimes it has nothing to do with whether you're good or not. There's some places that just aren't very good at managing, the booking. The bookings. Yeah. But overall, I mean, most places have been great. We have so many good connections, like so many nice people that we work with that when we're booking the shows, and it's really nice, and that's what's important. Like, you want to do a good job so that they ask you to come back. You want to be a nice person and a responsive person. I check my email probably the same amount that I check my text messages. I mean, it's like if somebody's reaching out to book a show and they know that I'm quick to respond and easy to work with, they might reach out to me. They might come to someone who can make it really easy to get that taken care of. Absolutely. And I think that goes a long way too. It's not just about the talent, and it's not just about, if you fit the place, but also just kind of being a good business person, plays into it as well. And I think I probably have gotten a lot of opportunities because I try to make it easy for people, you know, like I try to say as much as I can in the reply email so that there's not a ton of back and forth. I'll say, you know, this is like, here's a photo for promotion. This is my website. Here's my phone number, confirming the time. This is the rate, sending it back. And then all they have to do is reply, yes. Like if it looks good, you know? And I think it kind of goes a long way because people are busy, and a lot of people that are booking music for different venues, that's not their sole responsibility. So, yeah, I mean, the places that we performed at have been really great. We do a lot of winery type of venues. They always take care of us. They always give us, you know, free wine and make sure we have everything we need. And I like free wine. Yeah, and they all are okay with us doing some original music. I mean, a majority of our set is covers because that's just what people want to hear. And I wish I could do all original, but it just, I get it. People like to hear songs that they're familiar with. But all of the places that we perform at have no problem with us throwing in some original music too. So I like that because I feel like I'm still showing who I am as an artist. And even when we do cover songs, I don't like to do them exactly how the original artist does them. We kind of put our own twist, or even if maybe I'll just change like one little note. I mean, there's some songs that I try not to mess around with too much, but just like doing it kind of in our own style makes me feel more like, okay. It's also really cool because I went to the music awards, I think it was 2 years ago, and I got to meet a lot of people that I kind of have been following on Facebook or Instagram. And one of the girls, Chelsea Lynn Meyer, she's like a punk rock type of girl. And she's super cool. And I said, like, I would love to do something together. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So we actually had a collaboration between Chelsea and then Sarah Teets, who's the lead singer of a heavy metal band, Mind Maze, and then Aaron Kelly, who's like very country. So we all kind of collaborated on the song together. So cool. The four of us kind of singing about, we were singing a song I wrote about supporting other women and just kind of like being kind to each other. Like there's no need to like bring each other down. We can inspire each other and build each other up. And so I think in general, you know, sometimes women are so hard on other women, and I kind of be mean. And I kind of wanted to just spread a message of like, especially for younger girls, you know, you have the girls, like my daughter's in 8th grade now, and you know, you have girls that are very insecure about themselves, and sometimes, you know, the bullies are the ones that are struggling with their own issues, right? Because they're insecure and they've got their issues, and that's what makes them want to bring other people down because
make them feel better.
Right, exactly. So I kind of wanted to write a song spreading a message of like, hey, like we all have, you know, our positives and our negatives, like inside us. We all have things that we wish could be better or we wish could change, but you know, have the confidence in yourself, because if we all have confidence in ourselves, then we won't feel the need to bring anybody else down. So that was, I don't know, it was a message that I wanted to share, and also just kind of in general, like for the music scene, like we're 4 singer-songwriters and we're all girls, and it was just really awesome to do something together like that and show, you know, like the music, like I said before, I would love to do more collaborating with local artists and stuff, and and that was just so much fun to do. So I would love to do even more of that as well, because I don't think it happens enough. And sometimes when you do that, it can just bring out a side of you, like a different style within you. I don't know. It was just really neat. It was so fun. And now, you know, I made 3 new friends. So. And Aaron and I perform together like all the time. So it's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love collaborations with people. And it helps you grow.
It does.
As an artist and as a person.
I kind of wanted to put a positive message out there, you know? And I don't know, like, who's going to be listening to it? Like, maybe they need to hear that at some point in their lives, you know? And it's just kind of like, and even for myself, you know, as a reminder too, like there will be times when, you know, I'm looking at someone on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm kind of like, oh, man, that's so good. Like, you know, and I'm like jealous.
Sometimes I like to think that, you know, on my playlist, there's a bunch of different singers that I like to listen to. So if I guess when you hear somebody else who sings and you think, oh man, and you feel that jealousy or you feel that, like as human beings, I think we naturally feel that. So when you feel that feeling, in terms of, okay, thinking to yourself, okay, well, I'm not quite sure in terms of the artists or singers that you look up to, but I'm going to assume that there's a good amount of singers that you like to listen to. And I like to think to myself, okay, if there's a good amount of singers that you like to listen to, there's also a good amount of singers that somebody who is in your audience is going to listen to. So that person that they listen to as well, you're still on that list as that person that they want to listen to as well.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's a good way to look at it.
In terms of reframing, you know, just a way of reframing that idea. Yeah. Because you're dope. Yeah. And I think as a creator, it's inevitable to have those moments of like self-doubt where you're like, man, I wasn't really hitting it today. I wasn't really. Yeah. But at the end of the day, as long as you know that you are dope, things can rise above, you know. But anyways,
thank you. That's a really good message.
Yeah,
it's funny because sometimes when I perform with Erin, and you guys should look her up. She's amazing, and she's been singing since she was like really, really, really little, and consistently all through. Like you can just tell she's so good. And we'll be doing a song, and she'll hit a note, or she'll do like a run, and it's like really like smooth and quick. And then I look at her and I'm like, what the heck? And then after the show, I'll be like, Erin, how'd you do that? Show me how to do that. Yeah. You know? And it's great because it's like, I mean, I'm not really jealous. Well, I mean, maybe a little bit. I'm like, man, I want to do that. But it's almost like it pushes me to want to be better. And sometimes performing with people that are really, really good, they kind of do things, and it's like, oh, cool. Okay, let me try that. That's kind of cool. Let me try that.
Yeah, it unlocks that. That's dope.
It does. And you know, Erin and I are friends too, so she knows. Like, sometimes if she like mishits a note or something, I'm like, oh. Because she never messes up, like, ever. And it's so frustrating, and I miss them all the time. And she's just, I'm like, yes, you're human. She's great.
I love it.
Yeah, she's best.
Well, Stefanie, where can people find your work or go to your upcoming shows within the next few months or year, or however you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you have an Instagram or Facebook or a website that people can find your work?
All of the above. Yeah. So my website is www.stefaniejohnsonmusic.com. And my joke that I tell at my shows is that it's Stefanie with an F, because my parents literally F'd up my name. And that is the only way people will remember to search with the F. They literally F'd it up. I don't know why they chose that. They just wanted everybody to spell my name wrong. I guess. Actually, it's the German way of spelling Stefanie. But one time I had somebody ask me, like, oh, do you just spell your name that way to be cool? And I'm like, no, I don't.
I chose to do that.
I'm so not cool. So yeah, StefanieJohnsonMusic.com, or on Facebook, it's Stefanie Johnson Music, and on Instagram, it's Stephanie.Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really cool. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It was so nice talking to you.
Thank you.
For the opportunity of the week, we thought we'd share some upcoming shows from our guest today, Stefanie Johnson. The first upcoming show will be in January on the 29th with Steph and Mike at Black River Farms Winery in Bethlehem. There is another show in February on the 5th with the SJ Band, blended by Brewed Daddies in Allentown. and another show in February on the 26th with Steph, Mike, and Aaron at 7 Sirens, Bethlehem. Thanks for tuning in to the Lehigh Valley Arts Podcast, a Steel Pixel original series. Don't forget to like the podcast, leave us a review, and follow us on both social media and streaming services at Lehigh Valley Arts Podcast.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Like a light bulb.
Like a light bulb.
Like a light bulb.
And if you never saw it, you wouldn't say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
I don't remember what it says there.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. And one stormy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph with your nose so bright, won't you
drive? Is it ride or drive?
Won't you guide?
Guide.
Is it guide?
It's neither.
It's neither. I don't know.
It's yours.
I want you by my sleigh tonight. That's so funny. Why am I singing in a deep voice?
I don't know why you're so deep.
I don't know.
Just cause.